Looking back on 2018, the story that stands out the most for me is the death of Jonathan Pitre. It stands out for a few reasons. The first is the enormous outpouring of public grief that we saw and the tremendous support for Jonathan's family, especially for his mother, Tina. It's also a story that hit particularly close to home for our newsroom because for the last several years of Jonathan's life, he had allowed our reporter Andrew Duffy and our photographer Julie Oliver to chronicle his life. And through their compassionate words and photos, they opened a window onto Jonathan's life for the world to see.
This is an incredible kid. He's so funny and smart, and of course, you know, kids can be cruel and they can only see what's on the outside, but if just for a minute they could have seen what was on the inside, I mean, he was just an angel.
He really saw himself as a hero, you know, and which was a curious thing because he was, you know, I mean, his sense of optimism was heroic, you know, the way his ability to share happiness was heroic, like his ability to share love with his mom was just heroic. Like there was never a time where you were around him where you felt that he was oppressed by life.
It was one of those stories where we told Jonathan's story a lot. There were many stories over the months and the years of us knowing Jonathan, and I think each time you read one, you came away with something different from it. And each time you looked at one of those stories or one of those videos or one of those photos before it was published, you just sensed it was going to resonate with people. Even as amazing as the stories and video and photos that we took and wrote about were, even just photos supplied by Jonathan's mother, Tina, that showed him in unguarded moments, smiling at a hospital bed, at Christmas with a jersey on. You knew the readership and our readers wanted to see how he was doing step by step.
And we would get dozens of letters to the editor every time Andrew Duffy wrote. And when Jonathan died, we had just an outpouring. This is very typical, this was from a reader in her 80s. She wrote, "I know that every day is a gift. On my refrigerator door is a small picture of Jonathan Pitre. Whenever I suspect I'm going to have a difficult day, I see his smile and I straighten up and I get on with living."
We hit 5 million views in the summertime. It's now November and we're at 10 million and I don't see it stopping. And it's just overwhelming to have a story that touches so many people.
I'm very grateful that so many people know of Jonathan and care about him, and you know, really that's probably one of the best things I've done in my career.
Yeah, I don't think it's too much of a stretch to put him on a level of like Terry Fox. I really don't. As somebody so young, afflicted, that showed such incredible courage and spread the word about their disease, I see them very similarly, and it would be really nice if he could be celebrated in such a way that, you know, people would know about EB and remember EB, because really that is, as he said, all he ever wanted. And he said it, you know, it was almost prophetic. You know, he said, if I just want this wave to get big enough that even if I don't survive, that the wave keeps going and going, and I think it has, and in no small part, well, it had everything to do with him.
You know, he certainly raised more money for EB than anybody else. He's raised more than $600,000 for EB. You know, there's a butterfly garden is being planned, and a school may be named in Jonathan's honor. You know, there's that kind of legacy, but I think, you know, I think he affected people on a personal level, and I think that's probably kind of the bigger part of Jonathan's legacy, is just the way that I think he made so many people appreciate their own lives and what they have in their own lives. And you know, I think, you know, speaking personally, I think the thing that bothered me the most, you know, I think the thing that was saddest for me was that Jonathan never got to go to a birthday party. You know, he was excluded. And you know, if there's one legacy I'd love to see on his behalf, and that people just be nicer to those who are different, you know.
Yeah, it's been the joy of my career, and to get to know him and his mom. It just feels odd not having him around, and You know, he'll be missed. I think about him a lot.